Hi, this is Misha, and in my continuing relook and closer examination of the Borg fleet, it's time to get to our first geometric shape. Kind of makes me wonder if there was something going on with Sesame Street there. This is, of course, the sphere, and that seems to be the official name because we do see a few of these named, and they're just named like Sphere 721 or Sphere 984 or whatever. They just sphere followed by a name. Excuse me, a number. This was first seen in First Contact, where it was essentially used as an escape vehicle from an exploding cube. And then later appeared multiple times in Voyager, where we saw it used as either a tactical craft, like a long-range tactical patrol craft, or as a scout. And there's references to tactical cubes as well. The thing is, size seems a little uncertain. We know at one point a sphere had a crew of 11,000, but others we hear about seem like they might be either bigger or smaller. For example, the one featured in First Contact seems to really have had a smaller crew, but we don't know that. So it's very possible that there are either different types of spheres, or that spheres just grow. It might start off small, for example, like that assimilated Arctic one, kind of grow into a sphere shape and then grow larger and larger in circumference as resources are put into it and as the need. But it seems like this is kind of the Borg's smaller, more agile vessel. When they can't or don't want to commit a full cube, they'll send a sphere. They're very capable. They're fast. They have the same kind of weaponry and ability to assimilate and adapt as any other Borg ship. They definitely can use transwarp. You know, typical Borg stuff. They're decentralized. And this was used in Voyager when they needed a Borg ship, frankly, they could kind of go up against and stand a chance because, you know, a cube is a cube, but they would use a sphere to kind of limit the Borg power a little bit, because the Borg were crazy overpowered in Next Generation, which is kind of the point. So the Eaglemoss model, well, it's a sphere. It's a textured sphere. So it wasn't exactly, this was one of those things, guys. I did know what a sphere looked like, so I knew what this was. It does have some weight. It does have quite a bit of metal. So that's good. And there's really no good way for it to sit, so I understand why the stand's kind of this, spike with a hole. Most of the Eaglemoss don't do that, so, yeah. I understand why they need a hole in the bottom. But I really don't like how they did it. For one thing, there's one on each end. And it's so blatant. Surely they could have found a way to only do one hole and to kind of disguise it in all this patterning. For example, there's one kind of spot here that they might have been able to do. I just think the way they did these ends, the longer I have it, and I've had it a while now, just bugs me. And if they had to really do that, do it on one end, not on both. It just kind of seems a little ugly. To be fair, though, this was only issue 10 in the collection, so only within the first 6 months of the collection. So I think they were still trying to figure out some stuff like that. If you look at my review of the Sulico from Aliens, it also pegs in, but they did a much better job of kind of blending the hole with the model. So I think that was great. I wish they had done that with the sphere. On the other hand, it does have a good size to it. It scales quite nicely with a lot of the Federation ships. It's nicely detailed. There's a lot for me to feel on it. And again, it doesn't just feel like it's just a plastic ball. It actually has some weight to it, some metal, so it's definitely not all bad. And I guess I am kind of nitpicking about the holes, but, you know, just kind of being honest about how I feel. It took me a little while to pick this one up. It wasn't, again, something super exciting to me, but I figured, well, it's definitely an iconic Borg ship, and I do like the Borg, so I had to get it eventually. I picked it up on sale for, like, after coupons and stuff, like $13. So it's worth it to me. Plus you get the magazine. And it completes the Borg fleet. So yeah, the sphere. And then, like I said, there's also a tactical sphere. Kind of the Borg patrol and scout craft. These are still very big, even though it's much smaller than a cube. We're talking several hundred meters across easily. Yeah. Well, with a lot of these Borg ships, there's not a whole lot to say. We don't know a lot of data. The insides are decentralized and very chaotic. Definitely function over form, which is how the Borg are. Of course, by this point, when we start to see this in Voyager, the Borg are being nerfed a bit. You know, I don't think any of us like it, but on the other hand, you couldn't have every Borg episode be like best of both worlds. I mean, you just can't have that much tension every time. So it was either only see the Borg once or twice, or kind of scale them back and see them more often. So there's trade-offs with everything. On the other hand, we learned more about their operation and history and whatnot in Voyager, so that part was neat. So it's not all bad. Not at all. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in here. If you could, like, share, subscribe, and also check out some of our other videos. See, I said R there. I don't know how to do that. It's mine. I don't want to be pretentious. Sorry, not trying to be. Appreciate you tuning in. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon next time.